Hey everyone, my name is the Theme Park Evangelist. I've decided to go ahead and continue on my Theme Park Evangelist history YouTube series. Now, I have been looking at the analytics for my two brand new YouTube series, and based on popular opinion so far, it seems like How I Met Vanita has been the more popular of the two YouTube series. But granted, it is still early on, and I'm waiting to see if the Theme Park Evangelist history YouTube series will overtake the How I Met Vanita YouTube series in this next vlog. So we'll see what happens, I guess. So the last time I saw you guys, which was my very first YouTube video for my Theme Park Evangelist history vlog, um, more or less, I basically talked about my past YouTube life. I mentioned how I was Dave the Rapper. I mentioned how I was, really struggling. I mentioned how I only had 50 subscribers at one point, all that fun stuff. So, you guys know that already. If you don't, just go ahead and go back to the very beginning. Very easy to find. There's only one vlog in the entire YouTube series, so I would hope that you can easily find it. The playlist is literally titled The History of the Theme Park Evangelist, so just go back to that YouTube series playlist. So, anyway, with that being said, um, sorry, Katie finally just saw my message from earlier on Messenger. But, anyway, um, my personal one, by the way, not my business one. So, the next one is actually going to be titled What Inspired Me to Become the Theme Park Evangelist. And this one is actually going to be really interesting. I really feel like a lot more people are going to like this YouTube video a lot more than the very first one I did, just because of the fact that this one I actually talk about the YouTuber, let alone the YouTube video that inspired me. And that's not just it. I also mentioned how this becomes the fuel for my fire, and I don't stop there. I also mention how I started becoming more interested in the theme parks and how I have a different perspective on theme parks and all that from there. So that just gives you an idea of um, basically what leads me to become a YouTuber. So I am actually going to look right now to see what my next YouTube video is called, just so I have an idea of what I'm going to be talking about next. Because that will help me understand. Okay, so becoming the theme park evangelist is my next YouTube video. So I'm going to basically stop right before December 4th, 2016, which is, of course, a Sunday. So, anyway, I had just seen that the TimTracker had posted a YouTube video, of course, on YouTube. And it was basically my first thoughts on the brand new Wizarding World of Harry Potter. And this was, of course, filmed on July 8th, 2014. Now, keep in mind, at the time, I did not know who the TimTracker was at all. I was like, oh, this looks interesting. I had heard about Diagon Alley opening at Universal. I had an idea that it was replacing Jaws, but I wasn't 100% sure Like, keep in mind, this was almost 10 years ago. Almost, like, probably in a little over a month, it will be about 1 year. I mean, not 1 year, 10 years, a whole decade. Hard to believe Diagon Alley is already almost 10 years old. Come on. That makes this even more appropriate of a YouTube series to start up now. But anyway, so I watched the entire thing, and I'm watching this couple, and excuse me, I was like, oh, they're really good, and I was really impressed by their enthusiasm for the theme parks, and I always loved the way the TheTimTracker signed off all his vlogs, and he always signed it off like this. And now it's time to pay the price. Every time. And now it's time to pay the price. I'm assuming what he meant by that was, and now it's time to pay the price for, like, my body being tired, or now it's time to pay the price for, like, oh, I had to, dish out all this money. I don't know. Like, I never really understood what he meant by it's time to pay the price. And I was just like, huh. But anyway, I used to say that for quite a while when I first started becoming a YouTuber, which I'll discuss more in the next vlog, but I just wanted to say that just for fun. And I watched the TheTimTracker for years and years, and Tim would sometimes end his vlogs in his home, and for a long time, Tim did have a Homer Simpson clock, which I thought was kind of neat. It was Homer Simpson literally hanging on a wall eating a donut. It was hilarious, but awesome at the same time. And sometimes Tim would end his vlogs right there in the park. Sometimes he would even just ask random guests to end the vlog. And I always loved watching him. He was neat. He was educated. He was passionate, enthusiastic, and I was just like, wow. And then I stopped and thought to myself, and I was like, well, I have the same ability to vlog like Tim does, but I'm not quite ready yet. So I kept watching him, learning from him. But in the meantime, I just, kept going to the parks, just having fun. And, at the time I was going to Universal, I used to look for him. I was like, oh, I wonder if I'll ever see him. And every time I went, I was like, never saw him. Ever. And I was like, dang it, Tim, where are you? And there came a point when I was eating my lunch one time in the Dino Dig restaurant. I don't remember what it was called. It was like the Dino Dig burger restaurant. I used to pack my lunch all the time going to Universal because, let's be honest, Universal and Disney are very expensive. I actually talked all about that in a YouTube series I did over the winter that was all about how I have saved money, how I have saved money traveling to Central Florida over the years. But in this case, I'm referring to when I was actually living in Central Florida prior to moving up here to Northern Kentucky. Yes, for those of you who are new to my YouTube channel, if you have hung around this long, you should know I used to live in Central Florida for 25 years. I lived in Lake Wales for 15 of those years, which is home to Bach Tower Gardens. I lived literally 15 minutes away from Legoland, Florida, and I worked at a Publix supermarkets literally right next door to Legoland, Florida. Like, how cool is that, right? So, I used to go to Universal all the time because I was a pass holder. And, of course, I had connections to Disney World because of family and friends. And I just really enjoyed myself back then. But, as far as Universal is concerned, I used to go there when I didn't feel like going to Disney, and both Disney and Universal, I would always pack my lunch, and my lunch typically was either whatever I made at home, or sometimes, because I am a big Publix fan, working there for almost 7 years, late 2012 to mid 2019 for the curious. I was always a big fan of their Publix subs. So what I would do was I would stop at a Publix on my way to Disney or Universal. And let's face it, working at Publix and living in Polk County, Florida, you pass by many Publixes on your way to one of those two parks. So it was very easy to pick and choose which one I wanted to stop at, and all I had to do was bring a cooler with me and stuff that sub in there, and then just at some point pull out that cooler, or put the cooler down on a table somewhere. Of course, let's be honest, a air conditioned building. I mean, you can say refrigerated if you really want to, but an air conditioning building would be, of course, preferable. And because, I was a Universal pass holder, I had to get the Coca-Cola Freestyle Cup, which I actually did do a discussion years ago on whether the cup was worth it or not. And somebody called me out for not doing my research properly, which I do appreciate the fact that you did call me out, whoever you were, because I did not do my research. And I need to do my research better on that next time. So, I would go into, the Dino Dig, because that was one of the air-conditioned buildings. And I sit there and I pull out all the food. Some of it I packed at home, and of course I got my Publix sub, and I felt bored and lonely because I go and I go and I go. Because my life was not very exciting back then. If I wasn't at work, I was at Disney, or I was at Universal, or I was at Legoland. I really didn't do much back then. And I didn't work a lot either. Like, I was working 20 to 30 hours a week. That was it. And my shifts were very short. And because my shifts were all over the place, sometimes I would sleep in and then go to work. Sometimes I get up early and then go do whatever afterwards. So I really didn't feel like I had a life, and because I didn't have a fiance or anything, I felt like I wasn't really doing anything worthwhile with my life. So I figured, like, why not spend all my time at the theme parks? So after a while, I just started thinking, like, maybe I could do something more worthwhile at the parks. And I started really considering it more and more the more I went to Disney and Universal by myself. And of course, this was, before TJ came into my life. So about late 2015, I went to. Of course, I didn't become a pass holder at Universal until just right after I met TJ, by the way, for those of you who do not know. So a lot of these situations I'm talking to you guys about are after TJ and I met. But you should know that I did meet TJ in late 2015 at Steak and Shake, but TJ and I honestly didn't even start hanging out as friends until way, way, way later on in 2016. So anyway, skipping further down the road, into late 2016, TJ did start becoming interested in becoming a pass holder too. So TJ approached me and said that he was interested, and of course TJ has always had extra money because either he had excess money from relatives, or TJ always went after jobs that paid way better than I did. That was never me, unfortunately, until recently. So TJ, of course, decides to go big or go home, and TJ is like, I'm gonna go big, and he got himself a 3 park preferred pass. And of course, he has to rub it in my face. He's like, haha, I can go to Volcano Bay whenever I want. David can't, and I'm like, so. So TJ, of course, got his in like late 2016, the fall of 2016, something like that, and he started going quite a bit, especially of me, and uh, pretty much from that point forward, I never really went to Universal by myself, and TJ pretty much didn't allow me to go by myself anymore. He was like, "Oh, you're going to Universal? Well, let me come too." And I was like, sure, why not?" And I was like, I guess. I mean, I started missing going to Universal by myself in some ways. I mean, don't get me wrong. I did get tired of it up to a point because of the fact that I went literally once or twice a week every single week, and I was driving my parents' old Chrysler Voyager from 2001 all the time out there. And 2001 compared to what is it now, 2024, we already know that. I was just saying that for the sake of conversation. And it's not a very exciting ride. I mean, the car had a freaking cassette tape in it. Come on. What do I have now? Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, Google AirPlay, not AirPlay, CarPlay. It's not even Google, it's Android. And it's also got a whatever you call it, auxiliary cord input in it. So, and it's got a CD player in it. I mean, my car's got everything in it. It's like mind blowing. I mean, compared to the Ford Focus I used to have up until a few months ago, I was just like, wow. I mean, my Ford Focus would have been 8 yesterday if I still had it. If that says anything. I bought the car officially as of 7 p.m. 8 years ago yesterday. So when I first left it at Honda here in Florence, I was very sad. But anyway, moving on. So basically, after TJ and I started going to Universal quite a bit together, it came to a point where it came into the holiday season, and I started, thinking more and more about the whole becoming a YouTuber thing. And, I'm still watching the TimTracker this whole entire time. So don't think, I stopped watching the TimTracker. And let's just say that the next chapter or installment of my YouTube series, which is, of course, becoming the Theme Park Evangelist, which probably will be the most popular YouTube video of this entire YouTube series. Mark my words. If it hits 50 views, I am going to be shocked. I am going to be very shocked, but in a good way, not in a bad way. But I'm, really hoping and praying it will. And the next vlog, you're going to find out what all went down on Sunday, December 4th, 2016. But I'll tell you right now, every day before that, I was either going to Universal with TJ, or I was going to work at Publix. But I will at least mention this much. I had recently gotten interested in an app called Wish. And this was kind of like the last moment for me. And before I became a YouTuber, like, actually, not even that. No, I had done that after. I forgot. That's right. Or I don't remember now. I mean, I know I got into Wish, but I know I had gotten a camcorder shortly after I became an official YouTuber. But I do want you guys to hear this. So I know when I became a YouTuber, it was very spur of the moment, but anyway, so hear me out on this. Regardless, I either got into Wish shortly after I became a YouTuber, or I had just gone to my public service awards, which was on April 24th, 2017, and or something to that extent. And of course, one of the presents that I was allowed to choose for free was a camcorder. And I figured, oh, that would be perfect for my YouTube channel. I didn't realize the quality would be crappy, but that's besides the point. But, that was also kind of a step up for me to becoming a YouTuber. And one thing I like to mention a lot with my YouTube channel is my quantity of as a YouTuber back then was ex- exponentially high. What do I mean by that? I was YouTubing like this. I was just like bango, 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 like YouTube videos being uploaded left, right, and center, like TJ is right now. I could not believe it. It was like, you want a Disney World vlog? Boom, right like that. You want a Universal vlog? Boom, like that. You want a Legoland vlog? Boom, like that. I mean, that was just what I was like back then. I was like, yeah, I got you covered. And then, as far as quality, people are like, I can't really see. Or you're kind of like tilting your head because it's like, this is sideways. I can't really see it. It's like, or like, stop shaking the camera. I mean, it was that bad. It's like, just hold the freaking camera still, for crying out loud, dude. I was that bad of a YouTuber. But they were like, but at the same time, this guy is like uploading like crazy. I mean, I could not believe it. And nowadays, I'm trying to at least upload twice a week now that I'm working at Chick-fil-A, where I have a pretty much set schedule. It's not like AIG. It's like, well, we're going to give you this day off, but not this day. Oh, we're going to give you this day off and this day off, but we can't guarantee you're going to be off this day and this day. I mean, I was a little shocked when they gave me a Thursday off this week. I was like, oh, that's unusual, but I'm trying to get some set days off now, starting next week. Praying and hoping, just, pray for me to get Sundays and Mondays off. And that way, I can let you guys know, okay, every Sunday and Monday, just expect 2 vlogs back to back. One at home and one at outside the house. And maybe, just maybe, I might switch it around, and I might even go as far as saying, hey, I'm going to vlog at home on Sunday and then vlog outside the house on Monday. Or I might even turn around and say, you know what, guys? Let's just go all out. Let's just do vlogging outside the house 2 days in a row, just for the fun of it. Let's just, be different. So, at least if I get Sundays and Mondays off together, Sundays are guaranteed 52 weeks a year, as long as I work for Chick-fil-A. But to get Sundays and Mondays off every single week, I would be like, so at least that would be, also helpful for me as a YouTuber, not just as a person, just to know 100% for a fact. I know 100% when I can, upload every single week. And that way the rest of the week, it's just going to be hit or miss. Like, is he going to vlog? Is he not going to vlog? Is my energy going to permit it? Is it not going to permit it? That kind of thing. In some ways, I'm kind of glad I did not upload yesterday because, it was Memorial Day. I didn't want to, stop people from whatever they were doing just to have people watch my YouTube channel. And secondly, I'll be honest, I was up until 11 o'clock at night when I knew I had to be at work at 6 o'clock in the morning, which meant being up by 4:15 a.m. at the absolute latest, yesterday just to get ready for work. And I was up late on 123movies.com, not last night, but the other night, watching a Disney Channel movie. Yes, I'm 30 years old and I watch Disney Channel movies. Leave me alone. So, anyway, I hope I was able to entertain you guys with my next installment of my history of the Theme Park Evangelist YouTube series. I know you guys were probably like, "Oh, come on, David! I really wanted to hear more about how you met Vanita." You're gonna have to wait till next time. Tomorrow, unfortunately, there will be no YouTube videos. I am excited to say that tomorrow is the very last day of my community group. And, unless I get out of work early and I have the energy, I might just pop in and do a quick YouTube video. But right now, I'm going to say no, just as a safeguard. Because, yes, I am getting out on time now because we have all these teenagers working. But anyway, tomorrow, of course, is the last day that my community group is meeting for the summer. And I might go hit up the grocery store and get some stuff before community group. And I need cereal anyhow and a couple of other things for the house, condo, whatever. So it really just depends on my energy, let alone timing, because we're going to be having a picnic at a nearby park here in Boone County. Yes, that's where I live. Yes, you already know I live in Florence, but I live in Boone County, Kentucky, for the curious. And we're going to be meeting at 6:30, so time is of the essence tomorrow evening. But starting next Wednesday, no more community groups. So I might be able to pop in on Wednesday evenings, Lord willing, and try to do some more YouTube videos. During the summer months, I have a little bit more time, but we'll see what happens. But always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great day. Peace out.